covered in today's China Truths.
On October 5th, Typhoon Matmo triggered the first Red Sea wave alert of the year. Seawater backflows occurred in Wenchang, Hainan, and Yangjiang, Guangdong, causing flooding in many areas, including streets and homes, and forcing the evacuation of hundreds of thousands of residents. Videos circulating online showed gusts reaching force 12 in Wenchang, with howling winds swaying and snapping coconut trees. Seawater backflow occurred in Puqian town and coastal areas of Wenchang City. Waves crashed violently against the seawall, flooding the streets and many houses. The water level rose rapidly, submerging numerous cars. Seawater backflow also occurred in Shaba Bay, Yangjiang City, Guangdong Province, flooding the streets and forcing residents living near the coast to evacuate. Videos showed huge waves crashing along the Yangjiang coast, capsizing fishing boats. Fishermen on shore lamented, "It's all over." Many netizens exclaimed, "The water is so deep," and "Now the main thing is to see if the floodgates can hold up." Seawater backflow in Guangdong Province caused at least 20 tornadoes. China's official media outlet CCTV reported that around 2:50 p.m. on October 5th, the center of Typhoon Matmo, the 21st typhoon of the year, made landfall on the eastern coast of Sichuan County, Zhanjiang City, Guangdong Province, reaching a strong typhoon level. At landfall, the center had maximum winds of force 14, 42 meters per second, and a minimum central pressure of 965 hectopascals. Heavy rain and strong winds were reported in parts of Hainan, Guangdong, Guangxi, Yunnan, and other regions, with some areas experiencing extremely heavy rainfall. Gusts were also reported in parts of southwestern Guangdong, reaching levels rarely seen during the same period. According to the mainland media outlet Observer, on October 5th, Typhoon Matmo caused seawater backflow in several locations, including Luozhou Park on Hailing Island in Yangjiang, Guangdong, Liangmei Village in Dashanjiang Subdistrict, Wuchuan City, Guangdong, Meilu Village in Qinba Town, Wuchuan City, Zhanjiang City, Guangdong, and Puqian Town, Wenchang City, Hainan. Furthermore, many areas in Guangdong issued tornado preparedness warnings. A joint field investigation by experts from the Guangdong Provincial Meteorological Observatory, the Foshan Tornado Research Center, and the Zhanjiang Meteorological Bureau revealed 20 confirmed tornadoes as of 12 p.m. on October 4th, including 17 land tornadoes, one EF2, the rest, primarily EF0 to EF1, and 3 waterspouts that made landfall. 7 prefecture-level cities and 36 districts and counties in Guangdong, including Zhanjiang, Maoming, Yangjiang, Jiangmen, Zhuhai, Huizhou, and Zhongshan, activated a typhoon emergency response. Seawater backflows across Hainan, flooding police stations. Dahe Daily reported that on the morning of October 5th, Puqian Town, Wenchang City, Hainan Province, was hit by strong winds and heavy rain, accompanied by a storm surge that caused seawater backflow. Rising seawater overflowed the seawall and flooded the streets, leaving shops and homes submerged to a depth of up to half a meter, soaking furniture and appliances. Water and power outages occurred in some areas. The Puqian Coast Police Station, located near the coast, was severely damaged. The first-floor offices and some office equipment were flooded, forcing officers to move to the second floor. A large number of aquaculture cages at Puqian Central Fishing Harbor were also shaken violently by the strong winds and high waves, causing them to float and sink unsteadily. Some cages showed signs of damage. Due to Typhoon Matmo, Zhanjiang and Beihai in Guangdong Province, as well as Haikou and Wenchang in Hainan Province, announced the 5 suspensions: suspension of classes, work, business, transportation, and navigation, along with the closure of all scenic spots. It was reported that low-lying areas in Wuchuan, Guangdong, Puqian Town, Wenchang, Hainan, and other places were rapidly flooded, and at least 250,000 people were relocated. The high wind forecast indicated that from 2 p.m. on October 5th to 2 p.m. on October 6th, winds of up to force 15 to 16 were expected along the Leizhou Peninsula and coastal areas of Guangdong Province, the Guangxi Coast, and the eastern and northern coasts of Hainan Island. All train services on Hainan Island were suspended today, and all flights from Haikou Meilan Airport were cancelled starting at 11 p.m. on the 4th. Wenchang City implemented a 5-stop and 1 closure policy, suspension of classes, work, business, transportation, and flights, along with the closure of scenic spots. Zhanjiang City, Guangdong Province, also implemented the 5-stop policy citywide in phases, with the relocation of over 150,000 coastal residents. In recent years, natural disasters in China, from relentless typhoons and floods to unprecedented snowstorms, have become increasingly frequent and severe. Each storm leaves behind not only destruction, but also a silent warning. Many are beginning to question whether nature is sending a message to awaken human conscience. The endless pursuit of profit, reckless urban expansion, and disregard for the environment have pushed the land to its limits. Rivers overflow, mountains collapse, and the skies unleash their fury, as if reflecting the moral and ecological imbalance below. Perhaps these disasters are not merely natural phenomena, but echoes of a deeper truth, that no nation can thrive while waging war against nature. It is time for reflection, for repentance, and for restoring harmony between humanity and the world it inhabits. The floods in Guangdong and Hainan are not isolated tragedies, but part of a larger pattern sweeping across China. From the mountains to the coast, nature's wrath is exposing the fragility of human arrogance. Each collapsed seawall, each submerged town, is a mirror reflecting the consequences of greed and moral decay. If this cycle continues, no wall or dam will be high enough to hold back the reckoning. Only by restoring respect for life, truth, and the natural world can China hope to find peace again. Heavy snowfall at Mount Everest's East Slope Camp reportedly traps nearly 1,000 people. On October 4th, a severe snowstorm hit the East Slope Camp of Mount Everest in Tibet, leaving snow over a meter deep. Nearly 1,000 people were trapped, some suffering from hypothermia and in critical condition. On October 5th, a netizen posted a call for help, saying that a sudden snowstorm on the 4th at the East Slope Camp of Mount Everest, located at an altitude of over 4,900 meters, had left nearly 1,000 people stranded and unable to descend the mountain. One netizen said her husband, who was also at the Tangxiang camp, had just contacted her via satellite phone saying, "It snowed heavily, about 80 centimeters high. I was almost crushed to death by my tent while sleeping last night, but luckily I got out in time." Another caller reported that some people at the camp had suffered from hypothermia and were in critical condition. According to the Sangxiang Metropolis Daily, tourists at Everest Base Camp were trapped by icy roads and forced to take shelter in tents. Several hiking groups were also stranded at camps such as Xiaowuko, Tangxiang, and Rega. Tents at the campsite were completely engulfed in snow and even collapsed. Heavy snowfall buried tents in some areas, and yaks were unable to move due to the deep snow. According to incomplete estimates, there may be over 1,000 people trapped along the entire route. Some capable individuals evacuated on their own, but the majority required rescue. However, due to signal outages and deep snow, rescue efforts were extremely difficult. From 5:50 p.m. on October 4th, the Mount Everest scenic area was closed and ticket sales were suspended. On the afternoon of the 5th, Mr. Sun, who had just descended from the East Slope camp on Mount Everest, told Jimu News that the snow began on the mountain on the evening of the 3rd and continued throughout the 4th. He had managed to descend before the blizzard closed the road. "I heard from friends on the mountain that there was a heavy snowstorm that night, and many tents collapsed. The snow in the campsite was over a meter deep, and all access routes down the mountain were blocked." Mr. Sun explained that his campsite was at an altitude of 4,950 meters, and the descent required crossing a pass at over 5,000 meters. There are 2 Mount Everest base camps in China, both located in Dingri County, Shigatse City, Tibet Autonomous Region. One is the Western Slope Base Camp in Jiaxizong Township, and the other is the Eastern Slope Base Camp in the Gama Valley area of Kudang Township. In response to this, a staff member of the Mount Everest Scenic Area stated that hundreds of local villagers and rescue workers were shoveling snow on the mountain and that bulldozers had cleared some paths. Between the evening of the 4th and the early morning of the 5th, some people were rescued and brought down the mountain, and rescue efforts are ongoing. According to the official Xinhua news agency, approximately 350 people have been rescued so far and have arrived at the rendezvous point in Kudang town. Some netizens commented in the video section, "I just saw a comment saying 20 or 30 people died," and another said, 47. However, no relevant reports have been seen so far, so it is impossible to confirm whether there have been any casualties. Rescue operations are still underway as temperatures on Mount Everest's east slope continue to drop below freezing. Local authorities have dispatched additional rescue teams equipped with snowplows, thermal blankets, and emergency food supplies to reach the stranded tourists. However, the altitude and harsh weather have severely hindered progress, with helicopters unable to take off due to low visibility. Many climbers have reportedly run out of food and fuel, relying only on melting snow for water. Communication remains unstable, and several areas are completely cut off. The sudden snowstorm has once again raised concerns about safety management and weather forecasting in high-altitude tourism zones. As the blizzard gradually subsides, rescuers are racing against time to locate and evacuate those still trapped in the mountains.
Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We will keep reporting on the COVID surge in China, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to get the latest videos. And thank you for tuning in.